Ladies and gentlemen, we got the squad here today. TSM has joined me for a little chit chat. We've got, if you don't know TSM, we've got Creams, we got Hockey, we got Wavy. Gentlemen, I know I just said it, but thank you again for carving out some time for this. I really appreciate it. I see you. So this is mewing, is this right? Or mogging?
Yep,
What is it?
yep. You can call it either. They
Either.
both
Okay.
work.
See, I got to learn. Listen, I'm old, okay? I'm old.
Vince is
I'm
really
start
good
y'all,
at
I'm
it. It's
starting to
crazy.
find gray hairs. It's over. It's so bad. Okay. Well, I told them what I want to do is I just want to kind of go chronological. So we'll rewind back. And I think Wavy, on your Wikipedia page, it says you started competitively around 2020. The other two guys, I think, were, and probably just because of age, I know you're a little bit younger, but the
Yeah.
other guys were at it a little bit earlier. So why don't we just start with Creams and we'll rewind. Was the first name that I saw, was that Affinity? Is that what it was on there, the first team?
Yeah,
That's way
yeah.
back.
Well,
So let's do this actually. When did you get into Rocket League? Like, when did you find the game and pick it up and start playing?
I found the game like originally, I'd
Yeah.
say 2017, and I was on console on PS4. I was grinding, not like I was playing comp and wanted to get to high ranks, but not like competitively, I guess.
Right. And then I guess when did that switch flip for you? Was it like you got a certain place on the leaderboard? Maybe you played some tournaments on the weekend with friends, or I know Six Mans was kind of popping back then as well. So what happened to change that mind space for you?
I grinded six mans on like PS4,
Yeah.
like right before I switched to PC and got rank A, and then I played quals with Claven and Hefty before I subbed for Alpine.
Clayman,
So
that's my boy. I still
yeah.
play with Clayman all the time.
The
Oh,
demo goat.
we actually got pretty close. Like it was when it was like a double limb bracket into a second like bracket with 4 teams, and it's like you lose twice, you're out, you win once, you're into RLRS. We like one round off of that second bracket, so we
Oof.
did all right. And then I subbed for Alpine, and that was a great experience. But that was kind of, I think when I subbed for Alpine, I'm watching them like play the game and play competitively. They were like top 8. They were doing really good, and that's when I really like fell in love. And I was like,
Yeah,
damn, I want to go pro in this game.
that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, you maybe at that time you were like, okay, I'm chill with the sub role, but then you see those guys kind of enjoying their success and all that, and maybe provided you that extra motivation to chase that as well. Um, okay, Hockey. When did you find Rocket League and give us your backstory of how you got started?
I think I found it in like late 2017,
Yeah.
and like my friends got me to or told me to get it. So I started playing with my friends on Xbox for about like 2 years, and I got my PC. So it was like all thanks to like my IRL friends from like high school back in the day.
Yeah, that's so cool. It's actually, I feel like that's such a really common thing with like with whether it's pros or creators or whoever, like the people that end up diving into it never had intentions of playing, like somebody dragged them along into it. So what about that switch for you? Like when did you change from, just recreationally playing it? Even if y'all know too, there's a difference from like tryharding in the ranked ladder to like six mans, competitive
Yeah.
tournaments, etc. It's a different grind. So when did that switch happen for you?
So probably like 6 to 12 months after I got my PC, I started playing six mans,
Yeah.
and I started in rank B. I worked my way up to like A. I think like at that point there was no B plus, so I just went straight from like rank B to rank A.
Yeah.
And I was playing with like a lot of like the pros now, like Ajax, Sosa, like all those guys. Like,
Hmm.
but I was like way like worse than them at that point.
Sure.
So I mean, I kept grinding six mans. I dropped that back down to B plus, back down to B. But yeah, I mean, it
So
probably like a year after when I got my PCs when like that switch happened for me.
yeah, and what about like because you've obviously played CRL for a while. Where does that fall in this story? Is that a little bit later, or is that pretty soon after? Was this something too that you had maybe some achievements at the bubble level before? Because Northwood does for some recruiting, right? So
Well,
give us that timeline.
so trying to think. I think it was right after COVID, so like 2021.
Yeah.
That's probably like 3 years after I got my PC. But yeah, they Northwood reached out to me, or no, I reached out to them. I saw like they put out like a post that they're recruiting.
Yeah.
So that was not too long ago. I'm in my junior year now, so that was like 3 years ago.
Okay. Okay, I feel like maybe I thought you had been playing longer. I guess maybe because they're historically, I know now, maybe not, but historically there's been like 2 CRL seasons in a single school year. So maybe that's why I was thinking that you'd played longer, I guess. Okay, so that came a little bit later than you had already been pursuing competitive. You had been on some bubble teams. I know that you've been at it for a while. I looked at yours and there's just a slew of
Yeah.
teams.
Yeah, there's so many.
That's funny. Well, I mean, that's what it. The reality is that is the bubble scene, right? Especially, I feel like it's maybe getting a little bit better now, but back then it was just such a high turnover rate. You know, players flipping and flopping all over the place. So, okay,
Playing once every 6 months.
dude, yes. And then like the thing is, some of these teams would find like pretty decent success, a couple decent tournaments, maybe a tournament win on the weekend, and then they'd have one bad tournament or like a bad week of scrims or something, and then it would just immediately turn south. I feel like that is, I'm on the outside looking in, but and y'all know I was coaching a little bit around that 2020 time, and we were never great, but we scrimmed some of these teams. But I feel like how quick people were to give up on their team, I think held some players back. Okay,
Definitely.
Wavy.
Yeah.
Yo.
So you're a little bit different. Obviously, there was a significant time period that you were pursuing the game competitively, but just weren't 15 yet. So you couldn't even.
Yeah.
It wasn't even in your mind that you could compete yet. So talk to me a little bit about that, and like how did that impact your motivation? Did it matter at all to you? I guess we'll start the same way we did with the other guys. When did you find Rocket League? How old were you actually when you found Rocket League?
I think I was 8 when I first found the game.
Oh my gosh. That's so crazy to hear.
That's insane.
It's surprising every time.
I was at my friend's house. Either I don't know if the PS4 is out back then. It might have been like the PS3, PS2, whatever. It was on some PlayStation console. We hopped on Rocket League.
Yeah.
And I don't know why. I just immediately loved the game. Every time I went to his house after that, I think we played. Like every time I was there, we played. I don't know. I had so much fun.
Yeah.
But then December of 2016, I got an Xbox with Rocket League. So like
Nice.
8 years ago. It's kind of insane.
Sheesh, that is crazy. Okay, so picked it up when you were very young. And was it like an immediate interest to try to be as good as possible? Was it something that was just really fun? And then I hear this a lot from pros. They like when they first got addicted to it, and I think a lot of us have that similar feeling where like, I don't know what it is about this game, but I'm just immediately hooked. I know I was the same way. I remember playing my college friends the same way. I was not a big gamer growing up. They introduced the game to me, and we were playing just like we are here. We were playing Chaos, 4 of us on one screen. And it was just like, and I come from the sports world, and I think that's why it got me, but it's so sport-like. It was just so much fun. Cars is fun, driving cars is fun, flying is fun, demos are fun. It's just a lot of fun stuff, I think, when you first start. But with you, Wavy, when you got into it, was it a fairly casual, like recreational thing for a while that turned into competitive, or was it, comp from the get-go?
Yeah, it was very casual. I didn't
Yeah.
grind that much, especially when I was younger. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I low-key felt like a prodigy. I was GC in 5th grade at at 11 years old with like 400 hours.
Oh my
It was
God.
actually not even 400, but I was insane.
Holy cow. That is an insane rate of improvement. I mean, even like, I feel like your fastest stories are like around 1,000 hours. So that is crazy, man. Well, okay, so when you hit that grand champ, are you still? I mean, you're in 5th grade. Obviously, you don't have like.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
so young. Is it still just very casual? Like, when did that switch flip for you?
It was definitely casual, probably until I switched to PC. I
Yeah.
switched to PC in 2020, like 4 years ago.
Yeah.
And then back when I was on Xbox, I was friends with like Salado and Knight. I knew those 2 people, and they introduced me to like 6-mans. They almost I didn't know there was an age requirement for Discord, so I almost played 6-mans when I was too young, but I didn't. I almost did, and they never told me, so they almost outed me a little bit. But as soon as I got that PC, like probably a month later, I started playing 6-mans, and then I was always a grinder. I queued like.
Yeah.
Probably 70 times a month for a while. But I think the most I've done a month is like 120.
Jeez.
I'm a huge advocate for 6-mans. I loved it.
So 2020. How old are you then? Like 11, 12, 13?
I was 13.
13.
13
Okay.
then.
Dang. Okay. So 13, start taking it serious, and you don't really have much to compete in. I mean, you have 6-mans. Did you just hit the grind in ones then, or was that something that developed a little bit later?
It was probably like a year later when I was 14 that I mainly started playing ones.
Yeah.
But when I was 13, I just played a lot of 6-mans. I wanted to get B+ so bad. It was insane. It was such a journey playing so many queues, having so many good teammates and then so many bad teammates. But even when I was tilted, I just loved playing 6-mans. I always enjoyed it.
Well, I mean, back then 6-mans did hold more weight, and it also was like it was a way that a lot of players showed what they were capable of. I think now it's probably more the 2s leaderboard, but yeah, I mean, like Daniel played very well in 6-mans. I'm sure you guys can think of some other players that kind of proved their worth, I guess, in rank A, rank X, etc. And probably earned themselves some tryouts. So I think that makes a lot of sense because, like I said, for you, there wasn't really anything else that you could do. So, okay, so let's talk. Let's talk a little bit about from there. All of you are competing on different teams. Some of you finding a little bit of success, some of you taking a little bit longer, etc. We don't have to walk through all of that, but how do you guys, and Creams, we'll go to you first. How do you guys find one another? And like what prompts this team to form, I guess?
Well, me and Hockey teamed up. So I was on Dark Zero year and a bit ago.
Yep.
And before I joined Dark Zero, me and Hockey were trying out with Drewy. And we did really good. We won some off-season tourneys, but obviously Dark Zero, Turbo, Dragon, ZPS, I'm going to take that.
Yeah.
And then after that, me, Hockey, and Aris started trying out and did well. We teamed up and then made a couple regionals. So after that season, obviously, Aris was getting hype and me and Hockey decided to go LF3rd. We tried out a shit ton of people, like everyone, and ended on Wahvey.
Okay, well, Hockey, how did you guys approach that like candidacy process? Just pretty much any and everyone that was looking for third? Because I know last season you all knew that there was an extended offseason coming, and so I think that probably resulted in more disbanding, more tryouts, et cetera, than maybe you would typically have. So what does that process look like? How do you guys decide to lock together because there are so many options available? And then how do you guys build a list of people that you were interested in?
Yeah, so after we like went LF3rd, Creams and I, we knew we had we thought we had 5 months because we thought the season was gonna start up in like September, like October, like it normally does.
Yeah.
So we thought like that was plenty of time, but then like we ended up having like way longer. So like
Yeah.
we knew we could try out I think we tried out like 6 to 10 people, and that's like a lot like compared to like other teams like in our range. Like most people when they like have their tryouts, they target like 2 or 3, but like we just kept going down the list. We like bam, 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 bam. It's like everyone's gonna try out with us. So I think that like really helped us like find who we wanted and who worked with us.
Yeah.
Because like we did well with like a lot of players like Cam, we did well with Cam, we did well with like Frosty, Blitz. Right, I guess Blitz didn't go
Kofor.
too well, but Kofor we did well with. But
Hazo.
Hazo we were doing well with. Who else? There's a few more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, but then we like Wavy was our last tryout, and like once we played with Wavy, like we knew it was the perfect fit. So I mean, we definitely took a different approach compared to other teams,
Yeah.
and I'm glad we did because if we like locked with like one of those earlier people, like we wouldn't have found Wavy.
Sure. What was it that you guys, and this is for Creams and Hockey both, what are some things that you guys value? Because obviously that list of players that you named, they're all very talented, right? And so what are some things that for you two specifically was important when finding that third?
You know, we actually talked about this, and we kind of just came to the decision that we wanted a ones player. Like,
Okay.
we wanted someone that's gonna be smart. And to be honest, I'll say it, Wavy was bottom of our list when we talked tryouts. Like, he was
Yeah.
he was the last person we tried out of everyone.
Yeah.
And we went to a LAN actually. All 3 of us were in a Toronto LAN. And we saw him like playing on LAN, and he kind of cooked us. I won't lie. Me, Hockey Jordan got kind of cooked by Wavy, and he had some weaker teammates. And then yeah, after that we tried him out, and it was just like Hockey said. We knew it was the one.
Yeah. Wavy, well, talk to me a little bit about that from your perspective. Of course, you don't know that you're the last on the list, right? what is the tryout feel like? What does the vibe feel like? Talk to me about this experience versus some of your other teams that you've had in the past. Just outline a little bit of your experience with the tryouts with these guys.
I mean, I think when I knew I was getting the tryout, it was a while. I was LFT for probably like 5 months by then.
Yeah.
I was just kind of taking whatever I can get. We've talked about a couple times. I literally got no pro tryouts. No one wanted me, and then I got the HeyBro tryout,
Yeah.
and then immediately we clicked, and from there we just kind of won the off season. But before that, trying to think, I won't go too in depth if
Sure.
like we don't unless there's a reason to. But when we met at that LAN, it was such a funny experience. Mainly because I missed the flight the night before, but also at the LAN, I think the night after the gameplay, we went out to eat at some like Italian place. It was amazing. We went on top of like a 1,000-foot building or something. It was cool.
That is.
CN
And
Tower.
yeah. We bonded with like 8 other people who were sick. We all got to know each other.
Yeah.
And that was mainly when all of us became friends, and we really established like a friendship within our team. And I feel like that friendship allows us to like kind of be insane to like improve as fast as we have been.
Sure. All right. So you guys lock in around what time is that? Is that like November, December?
End of October,
October?
early November, I think. Maybe like November, I think, around.
Oh, yeah, I guess it does have to be earlier because you guys played in plenty of events.
Yeah.
Okay, so around the October time.
I
So
don't think
actually
we didn't
yeah.
officially announce because like we were
Yeah.
talking
Sure.
to orgs.
Yeah.
And we were waiting for like the org announcement.
right.
But I think we were like set in stone by like September. I wanna
Gotcha.
say.
Yeah. But not
Okay.
September. I don't even think we tried out by September.
No, we did because
No,
the LAN was like in August, so we
Yeah.
probably tried to do that right after the LAN.
It was
Maybe
like the week after
thought
the
it was
LAN,
week-
we had
I thought it
two
was like week
scrims.
before Bandits. I don't remember. Or
We had like
whatever
2
the fuck it
scrims
was.
before we went into a tourney, and then it was like right after Toronto.
Yeah, no, we won the tourney.
Yeah, well, let's talk about that. You guys had a lot of success this offseason. And as a newer team, it's not uncommon. We have the honeymoon period, all that stuff. But you guys, I think, have proven that it wasn't just it wasn't just a honeymoon period. You have shown consistency throughout the offseason, which was extended. You have shown consistency even competing in RLCS, which we know is kind of a step up. Not just in like what the ceiling of those teams is, but there's more of them, right? Like some of those Bandits on Wheels tourney or the draw, like you might run into 1 or 2 of those high-level teams. But when you get into RLCS, it's 8, 9, 10, 14 of them sometimes are competitors. So off-season, I guess walk me through that. How does that feel? You guys are finding success right out of the gate. Is it just pure validation? When does and then from there, I guess, when does the org hunt begin?
So I want to say first, like before, the reason we did so good, a lot of bubble teams just go into it and they're like, oh, if I play good, I'll get picked up by a pro team.
Yeah.
But Hockey came to me and he was like, let's play a play style. Let's make a team play style that we want to do. And that's why in the off season we found so much success, is because Hockey ran it pretty much. He was kind of like a coach player. Like he made a play style and we played that play style. So that's how we were different to like other teams.
Yeah.
But I'm sure the other two could answer a bit more on going into RLCS and playing those big teams.
Hockey coach?
I wouldn't say I was like a coach, but we definitely did like Creams and I met and we like discussed how we wanted to play and like
Yeah.
how like what tryouts like we wanted to like the people we tried out, like we tried out for a reason, like that
Right.
that play style. But yeah, like the off season, we knew like there wasn't like every pro team was competing. Like I think like most of the Bandits, the best teams were like Dignitas, Shopify, Luminosity. So like we
Yeah.
weren't playing Gen Z or G2. But like it was still good practice, and I feel like playing against those teams like helped us like improve faster.
Sure.
So we're glad for those off-season tournaments.
Well, I think it's very well, it's interesting to hear, and I think you're right that not a lot of teams are intentional, whether it's with tryout or play style or just like a focus. It sounds like the main thing is that Hockey just said like, hey, let's zero in on something. Let's focus on a thing that we want to do, whether it's a play style or tryout, and tie it all together. And I mean, I think that's how it should be. You know, I think if you look at some more long-standing competitions, traditional sports, that's how it works, right? You have a team, you have these assets, and then you build your plan around what you have. So I think that speaks a lot to you guys' maturity and like understanding of the game. Wavy, what was that like walking into a system like that where guys were intentional, they were thoughtful, they had a game plan, and you guys, you know, it seems like put effort into executing what was previously or what you guys had decided that you wanted to do.
I kind of immediately flowed into it quite well.
Yeah,
I feel like how they said I fit the play style that they wanted to play.
right.
But obviously I didn't really know it. Like I was playing it, but I didn't know how I didn't know I was playing it, and I didn't know how I was like supposed to play it until they actually ended up like going with me and we played the off-season tournaments. But basically hockey was actually like a coach. It was insane. He had the craziest, most accurate ball knowledge of all time.
I
But
do see the constant tweets. Like you watch the game, you don't see hockey. You watch hockey, you see the whole game.
he knows it all. It's insane.
Well, it also speaks to you guys like trust in one another, and I think obviously that's important in a team environment. You know, to have an individual that can kind of step up and begin to lead and point the team in a direction and everybody jump on board. I think that stuff is important, and I think it reflects with you guys' performance. So what I know you guys performed well throughout the offseason, but what events did you actually win?
Let me look. Actually, okay, well, we won the first Bandits on Wheels. I know
Yeah.
that for sure. That
Okay.
was
We went
that was kind of
first,
weird. All
second,
started.
second.
And that was your like first tournament. Y'all just roll in there and win.
Literal first.
Yeah, that was our first tournament.
Nice.
I think that's the only one we won, but we got second place in
Yeah.
a few other ones.
Yeah,
It felt
we
like
got
y'all were a
we-
consistent top four in like
We-
most of the offseason events.
We beat Atomic Daniel and Mist in our like first event to win the event. I'm
Wow.
pretty sure.
Yeah. We beat that G2 tryout.
I bet that was very exciting.
That was insane. I remember screaming decent, only a little bit, screaming only a little bit after winning.
That is too
We were
funny.
hyped.
So you guys have talked a little bit about the fact that hockey has, you know, put kind of a focus towards a thing, and you guys have remained with the same structure where you don't have a coach now, and I think that's very uncommon at the level that you're at. What do you think enables you guys to kind of, I'm going to say, get away with that? You know, a lot of other peers of yours, they lean on that resource, they use that resource, and I think a lot of them use it effectively. And so you guys are obviously, you know, operating without a coach. What do you think enables you to find success without having that tool?
I think it's all about honesty and transparency. Like,
Yeah.
if I think, okay, hypothetically, if I think Wavy is doing something wrong, right, I can just say that to him. He's not gonna, there's no hard feelings, there's
Right.
nothing. We all, as a trio, we know we're here to like improve and get better. And that's all it is. We have that trust that if someone's saying something, it's not out of malice.
Yeah.
It's all in the journey to improve.
Right.
And we're very comfortable with that.
Yeah. I mean, I would ask more, but I feel like that is pretty much it. I think a coach, especially in Rocket League, like one of the most valuable things they can provide is that kind of third party, right? Where they're there as a mediator. They help the communication happen, make sure everybody stays focused and you know, things just don't get negative, basically, like you're talking about. So the fact that you guys have that, just that relationship and that trust with one another, I think that is incredible. Okay. We had success in the offseason. We're operating without a coach. We're finding good results. Org hunt. Is there a lot of interest in you guys? I know Rocket League and Rocket League RLCS is in a weird space at the moment, especially in the offseason where there was no, like, we didn't know when it was going to end, right? We assumed it was going to be January, February, maybe March, but we didn't know. And I think, understandably so, that may cause some caution or hesitancy with orgs. So what does the org hunt look like for you guys, especially having such a successful off-season?
So I would say going into it, like I was on agency at the time when we first started looking for an org.
Yeah.
I think Wavy just signed with one, like
Yeah,
at the
I
same period.
literally like, just joined one. Yeah, around
So
then.
we had like both of our agencies like reach out to orgs and like see like which orgs were interested and like they like handle a lot of the behind the scenes stuff, and
Yeah.
like we didn't really like any names like we thought were like interested, like we hadn't reached out to. But yeah, like there wasn't like huge interest from like a lot of top orgs, I would say. I think that was like mainly due to like the uncertainty of like when the season would start.
Right.
But yeah, I mean obviously TSM, they were like our main option once like we knew like they were interested.
Yeah.
And there's
Did
there's a
you?
few more, but I don't know if I can say.
Right. Yeah. Don't
Yeah,
don't don't say anything that you can't. But was there interest from maybe smaller or even like Rocket League endemic orgs prior to that?
Yeah.
And you guys like did y'all hold off and see what y'all could land eventually?
Yeah, there's actually a funny story behind like one of the what was it, Team Zealous, Wavy?
Wait, I'm trying
No,
to. What did,
XD,
wait,
XD.
yeah,
Oh,
it
it's
wasn't. It
literally
was
actually.
XD. That was just so funny.
I don't know if you want to say that, but go ahead if you.
Should I?
Well, you don't
who
have
wants
to.
Go
You
for
don't.
it,
Y'all
bro.
don't. Y'all don't
Go for it.
feel.
Go for it.
Yeah,
That's
go
so
for it. Go
funny.
for it. You can explain it,
All right,
Wavy.
who's talking? Beer creeps. Who's explaining this?
It's up to you, bro. If you, I can
Alright.
say it if you don't want to.
Basically, there are some people that didn't believe in certain people's skill levels on this team.
Okay. So
So
there was an
basically,
org interested, but they were kind of hesitant because of one of the individuals on the squad.
Yeah, they weren't
Two of
confident
them.
about everyone's individual skill, so they
Gotcha.
tried
Okay.
to. So they may have tried to get me to leave.
Well,
It was kind of like offered
it was such a funny
Wavy a
situation.
lump sum of money to go team with another high-level
gotcha.
bubble team
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
because me and Hockey weren't at that level.
Well-
In quotations, that's what they thought. Yeah.
Well,
That's exactly what was said.
I'm sure it feels nice to, you know, at this point, prove them wrong and show that you guys are at that level. And I think, you know, it sounds like you guys did maybe field some offers or have some interest before you maybe got any contact with TSM. And I think it's similar to your tryouts. Like you guys were just patient. You knew that you didn't need to rush into something. You knew and believed in yourselves, believed in the duo, believed in the team once you got Wavy locked in and you know, through that faith, I guess, you know, you guys allowed yourselves to be patient and wait for the right fit. And it worked out fantastic. I mean, TSM is an incredibly prestigious org. I'm sure that was a lot of fun. When you guys, because there's been a couple of situations throughout my time, and I'm not a player, but as a creator, you get like an opportunity. You know, someone reaches out to you. I'll tell you guys one. There's one time, and this is a long time ago. I was doing more of like the Gamers Ready coaching, and I remember my phone was sitting on my desk, right, sitting on my desk in front of me, so I could see the notification pop up, and I'm in a ranked game, and the notification pops up, and it shows Twitter, and then it says Sun Le. No, I don't see the SS, right, and I'm like, what? So, but then you're worried, like, is it a fake account? What? So I get through the ranked game, and Sunless had messaged me and asked me if I wanted to be in a video about like Gamers Ready coaches or something. And at the time, I was just like jumping around my room. I was so thrilled. Was it a similar feeling when you got that first, you know, notice that TSM was interested and they wanted to try to make something happen with you guys?
Yeah, we were actually in a tournament when we figured out they were interested.
Okay.
It was I think it was the Hercules New Era tournament. We ended up
Yeah.
getting second in that. So that was such a funny experience. We're in the tournament. We just got off of a win. We're waiting for a next match. I'm in like free play, and I think like Manfield Night or something. And then, and then we just figure it out, and it was insane. We were all jumping for joy.
Man, it's such a fun feeling just getting that like surprise, especially
Yeah.
like you guys' story is so fun where you've got a newer, relatively unproven player in Wavy. You've got two players that have, you know, bounced around into RLCS, miss a couple of events. You know, you guys it's been a long journey to get to where you are, and now finding that success in this offseason and then immediately reaping the rewards of it, signing, or potentially signing to a team like TSM. I cannot imagine how exciting that was. I also know that this happens. How long from like when you guys got the notice to like public announcement? Because that is such a tough thing, right? You're so excited, but you just can't talk about it. How long was that period?
Say,
I actually
we
can't
were
remember.
signed.
It
We
was
were
a month
talking
and
to
a half
them
or
for
like a
a
month.
couple weeks, like
Yeah.
to a month, and then we were signed for probably almost a month before they announced. Right? It was like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
almost a month.
yeah, it It's a
I
little
know.
hard.
I know
I
that's
can maybe find it.
it's obviously one thing when like you're in discussion, and nothing is
Mhm.
signed yet. That's exciting. But then when you get it signed, I imagine
Yeah.
you just want to share. You just want to be
That,
excited about it.
the feeling of signing is unmatched.
It is, yeah.
That's so awesome, man. I am, I've said this on my own stream. I said it before you guys jumped in here. I am such a fan of you guys because y'all are just so easy to cheer for because you are like creating content. I feel like it's very obvious with the way that you guys approach things that there's like a level of gratitude and appreciation for what you guys have achieved. And you work your tails off. Y'all are not skipping any tournament. Wavy, you're taking every $20 1v1 tournament.
I gotta get mine.
It's such a breath of fresh air, if I'm being honest, because I think there are a lot of players and a lot of teams that achieve a certain level of success and to some degree lose the drive. They don't stay as hungry as they were when they were on their come up. And I think they could have even better results if they remained hungry. And so you guys, I think it's very clear that you still have that same drive. I mean, even this last weekend, you're in a relatively smaller tournament that it definitely had some other great competitors in it, but none of the top 10 in RLCS, right? And so, like I said, it's so easy to cheer for you guys because that hunger, that drive is there and it's apparent. And, it's not something that you guys just talk about. You actually act on it and sign up for these tournaments and are constantly grinding. So I have so much respect for you guys in that regard. With RLCS split number 1, it's approaching. You've been signed. Y'all got a sick decal. Dude, that is so freaking cool. I love that decal.
Yeah,
Amazing. Dude.
Let's
definitely a top 3 decal.
100%, and not
Top
even
one.
close. Not
Top
even
one,
close.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about RLCS because it wasn't a perfect start, right? Now you've had improvement, and I think we can look in hindsight and be satisfied with where we are, or at least from my perspective. But talk to me a little bit about that. Again, we'll talk about the fact that there's no coach, there's no mediator here. That first event, what was the feeling going into it? And then once you ended up being eliminated, it was 12th or 14th, right?
Mhm.
What was
Yeah.
the feeling
14th.
after the tournament, and how did you guys approach that?
You want to start, Creams?
You go ahead. You go ahead.
Or I'll start. So going into it, we had the qualifier the week before. I think we find out we're playing like OG, and they're
Yep.
the second seed, I think. So like going into it, we know like we're playing like the second best team like seed wise. So
Yeah.
obviously like we still have confidence like with how we're playing leading up to the event, and then we end up upsetting OG in game 5 and take the 2 seed. So I mean after that, like knowing that we had the 2 seed going to the main event, like we were hyped, we were like so confident. But then we get into the actual main event, we drop out like 1-3 in Swiss, and the feelings like it's shit. Like you never want to feel that way. Like
Yeah.
I think like after we lost, like I was just like sitting here for like an hour, just like you just like sit here and like you don't want to like do anything really.
Yeah.
Like that feeling is like it sucks. But like after like it probably took like me a few hours. I don't know about my teammates, but we all like regrouped. We talked about it, and like we reset. We were like, we're good. We're gonna like watch replays this week. We're gonna like focus on like what we struggled in the tournament, and we're just gonna like get next tournament. Like we'll bounce back.
Yeah.
And that's like all you can really do.
Yeah, absolutely. And again,
What?
a testament to
Sorry,
you guys' maturity as a squad.
Yeah. What I love so much about it is, I mean, I've never been on a team that was so like, obviously we're sad about losing, but everyone in the group chat, we have a group chat, and after we lost, took an hour and 2 hours, we all sent a DM. We're all like, hey, it's just a start. We're gonna get better. Wavy's first ever regional.
Yeah.
It's only up from here, and that's what I love so much about these guys is that instantly, like it wasn't even the next day. It was the same day. We were all talking, and we were all like, all right, next regional. Who cares? It is what it is.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that. And Wavy, what about you? Because you have played on some teams and you haven't made it into RLCS. What is your takeaway from this team environment? You jump in, you have a ton of success in the offseason, you get signed. It's all sunshine and rainbows, and then you walk into that first event, and things kind of, it kind of falls off a little bit, a little crumble. What is that feeling afterwards, especially with like what Hockey and Creams have outlined? it seems like you guys brush it off and immediately get right back to it. How does that feel as a newer player in RLCS?
I mean, having Crimson Hockey really helped me like what's it called? Stay confident. They're such like they're both like hype men. They're such great teammates to have, and like just like personality wise as well. So like they're uplifting.
Yeah.
So after that, literally, it like they said, it took like I think all of us still just didn't do anything for an hour. But then we all just we set the DM. We were all good. We looked for the next regional, and like we knew that we were all just improving. So you know.
Sure.
We were watching replays, figuring out adjustments to play style, all that stuff, and then we just improved as like regionals went on.
Yeah, you absolutely did. Regional 2 was an improvement, and then Regional 3 was what, top 4?
Yeah.
Top 4, yeah.
Okay, let's talk about that a little bit. How did that feel? And obviously during that tournament, it was an outside shot, but you guys were still alive for the major even. So just talk me through that. Obviously a little bit of a slow start, but a huge regain throughout the split. So that third event, obviously lots of pressure. There were still lots of teams that were, fighting for that third and fourth spot. Just give me an idea of what the mentality was like for the team moving into that event.
Major wasn't on our minds. That's the main thing we thought about. It was whatever happens, happens.
Yeah.
Let's get a top 4. Let's get a top 2. Let's go. Let's play our game and show people what we can do. If we make the major, awesome. But we didn't like have that pressure on us.
Sure.
We made sure we didn't.
Yeah, I would say this is like the first time in my career, I mean like all of our careers, like we've ever been that close to a major.
Yep.
So I don't think like none of us have like ever experienced like that pressure before. And like I mean like I think other teams like felt that pressure. Like I could like see it in M80. Like when we were playing M80 for that top 4 spot, like I never saw them like play like that bad.
Yeah.
To be honest, like
Yeah.
'cause we would scrim them like before our RLCS to warm up, and like they would like sweep us. Like we didn't take a game, and then like we get into the main event and like we'd beat them. Like
We beat them
Like,
twice in that regional.
we could definitely tell like
Yeah.
pressure was like affecting these teams. So like
Yeah.
we knew if we just played confident, we played like how we wanted to, like we'd do way better, and we did.
Yeah. I think that is a very difficult thing to do. You have this like ultimate goal, right? Everybody, you guys and every other team there is trying to pursue it, but you just can't get caught up on it. Got to stay focused on what you're doing, just trying to take it one game at a time. Because like you said, if not, you may end up performing worse like some of your peers. Maybe they were looking too far down the road. Okay, so split number 1 is behind us. I want to get your feelings about the team in general, your split performance, and then moving forward. Do we have any expectations? How do we feel after split 1? Are there any big adjustments that we want to make? Are we entertaining a coach in the future? Talk to me a little about TSM moving forward.
I'll start. I'll let them talk a little more on expectations, but I will say, obviously after the regional, there's gonna be roster moves and stuff. Hockey said at DM, he's like, I'm sure someone will get a tryout offer, and Wavy just dropped the unless Zen RLE is in my DMs, not a chance. So we were all confident. We knew we were sticking.
Right.
And on the coach subject, we're gonna have a coach. I'm not
That
gonna
was
say
so funny.
but we're gonna have a coach. We will.
Yeah, we are moving into that.
Okay.
Oh,
And I'm just curious, how do you guys come to that decision? Is it something that you just see others using and you think, hey, you know what, maybe we can grab something from it? Just a third, I guess an alternative perspective. What is it that motivated you guys to do that?
I would say once we got into those like events, the main events, like the Swiss stages, like
Yeah,
going from team to team, like it was just like so hard for us to like adjust. I feel like so
Sure.
I feel like bringing in a coach would help us like set up like a more structured play style and like be able to like scout those teams or like analyze
Yeah.
the other teams that would help us like prepare for that. So I think like it would take a lot less pressure off of like all of us because
Right.
like they say like I'm the coach, but like we all put in like the same amount of effort. So it would take like all the pressure off of all 3 of us to like not have to like replay review like on our own and like
Sure.
come up with it on ourselves. Like it'll be like on someone else. So
Yeah. Just kind of
Definitely.
free you guys up to just focus on playing.
mhm.
yeah.
And obviously, we all still put in the same amount of work. Like
Sure.
we're still watching replays alone, together, with a coach, without a coach. Like we're talking. We're not just letting him decide.
Yeah.
this is what we're gonna do. It's all of us talking and deciding how we want to play. It's an open conversation. It's
Yeah.
not just
Yeah.
you do this. It's
Right.
all of us talking about it.
Yeah. Well, this is a personal opinion, I guess, but I think that is definitely the best approach. Having everybody's input, I think, is critical for a team to find success. Gentlemen, that's all I got. We're all set. TSM, incredible offseason with HeyBro, picked up by an incredible org. I'm sure that felt amazing. An awesome start to Wahvey's RLCS career. Hockey and Creams finding some of the most success they've ever found. Thank you guys so much for carving out some time. If you've got a little bit, we'll open it for the chat and see if they've got any questions for you.
Yep.
Okay, first up, we got one from Creams. I saved this from earlier from Blaze RL.
Oh,
What's
He
this
says-
Blaze got for us?
He says, we want to ask Creams what took place in the Hyatt Regency Toronto Hotel in about August 2022.
2022. Well, that was the first LAN I've ever been to with Blaze. It was a good time. We almost got kicked out a couple
Oh,
times, but
okay.
yeah, it was a good time. I don't know. I don't know if I should go into any specifics, but yeah, it was,
Were y'all clowning around? Y'all messing up some stuff?
yeah, it's a little loud. I think there's a lot
Okay,
of us.
a little
it was
loud.
pretty
That's,
late.
I mean,
yeah.
that is what it is. That kind of stuff happens.
Yeah.
I'll tell y'all a story. So I used to play travel baseball, and during the summers, we played for Legion, which was like a lot less supervision than like for high school. And my buddies, they got their hands on some fireworks, and they started dropping them into the toilet, and then like trying to time it so the water would, the explosion would kick the water up. Well, one time he dropped it too early, and it went down the tube and blew the side of the toilet open.
What?
Oh my god.
Yeah,
So,
that's insane.
yeah, there was a big bill on one of our guys' rooms. Okay, let's see. If y'all have any questions, drop them here in the chat. What is Wahvey's thoughts on Cookie Run Kingdom?
Yo, might be the best game out there right now, bro. I was gonna say second best. I don't know. It might be #1 game of all time right now.
Cookie Run Kingdom. Okay.
It's such a good like de-stressor. I just hop on whenever, and it just like I just enjoy it.
Another question for Wahvey: when will you stop stealing income from single fathers playing in weekly $20 tourneys?
I mean, when the tournament stopped getting hosted, I guess.
When a single father is good enough to beat you, I guess, huh?
Yeah, or that.
Okay, let's see. Fear is asking, is the coach actually just hockey and he's getting double salary?
Yo, who let him know?
No,
That's
that's
funny.
not what's going on, unfortunately.
Well, I'll ask, is that going to be announced before Split 2 begins, or is that something in the future? Or
Not sure yet.
can't share?
We can't share that.
Can't share. Okay, fair enough.
We don't really know yet, so
Right.
we'll find out.
All right. Well, if no one has any other questions, okay. Will Hockey and Hoxer ever figure? Will you guys ever 1v1 to figure out who gets to be the Hawk?
I would be down to 1v1 him. Who gets the name, but
I have hockey dusting him.
there is a funny story. Like my name before hockey used to be like Hawk. So like
Yeah.
when I used the Hawk name, people thought I was Hawkster still. So that's why I had the E.
Oh.
People would think like I wasn't Hawkster.
Okay.
But like people still think I'm Hawkster still, so I don't know what to do.
Yeah, that's fair. Wavy, you've got some name stuff as well. Wasn't the name Wahvey?
Yeah, it was Wahvey when I first switched. Yeah.
Yeah, because I remember when you were younger, there was discussion from like community casters trying to figure out how to say it, and then what you just people said it wrong long enough where you gave up.
Yeah, no, but I was saying, I was like, it's Wahvey, guys, bro. Say Wahvey. That no one did. So I'm just like, all right, I'm done with this, and I changed the pronounce. I just said, all right, it's Wavy now, and
That's
I even
funny.
have it. I haven't took it out. It's been in my bio. It's been in my Twitter bio for like probably like 3 years now. The pronunciation, just so people can't get it wrong.
That is too funny. Okay, Fear's asking if you're Hockey, will you ever drop a Hawkser? I mean, I'm sure you know the Hawkser tweet.
Oh,
We
yeah.
might need one.
When we qualify for major, I'll drop it.
There it is. Wonderful.
There it is.
All right, guys. I don't want to keep you too long. Thank you so much for carving out some time for this. I really, really appreciate it. As I said, I truly mean it. I am a huge fan of you guys. I want to see you guys find all the success that you can. Best of luck with split number 2. And that's that.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank
We'll
you
see
for
you
having
at
us.
the major.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
It's
Yeah,
awesome.
see you in
Thank
London.
you.
Hey, all right.